Mulshi Pattern, a Marathi film that released in 2018 and was directed by Praveen Tarde. A film that is available on Z5 showcased a story that really cuts deep for the people of Maharashtra. It actually sheds light on the hardships faced by a section of society from the state that I had no idea about. Focusing on the plight of farmers that sell their land to builders not having the foresight of investment and the limited shelf life of funds, only to take up blue-collar jobs around corporate buildings and residential properties set up on their once-owned lands. This was the reality of the Mulshi Tehsil in Maharashtra. The degradation of the state of the farmer due to urbanization, the exploitative ways of capitalism that lure simple-minded folk, leading to a sense of aimlessness within the agro-based economy. Told through the journey of Raula, played exceptionally well with such conviction by Om Bhutkar, who takes part in extortion as a projection of the sorry state his family is in, only to ponder over later that he became a monster he never intended to become. The film was a huge success in the state of Maharashtra and also featured Mahesh Manjrekar in a supporting role. From the behind the scenes of the making of Antim, you realize that it has gone through a cyclical process of creators coming in and out, only for Mahesh Manjrekar to take up the director's role in the end, having a clearer picture of what the original source material is. The film sheds light on the same themes that the original focused on. Even setting it in Pune, it's only that Salman Khan's role takes more of a center stage with an extended screen time as compared to the original character played by Upendra Limai, as Antim is pitched at a particular scale. The rise of Rahul, the rivalries amongst gangsters, the land acquisition and Hafta racket, and the cat and mouse chase of the police forms the basic storyline of this film as well. Let's get one thing out of the way. The movie essentially is a relaunch for Aayush Sharma's career, with the benefit of having Salman Khan in an extended cameo, almost assuring that people will flock into theatres, quite contrary to the outcome of what was Love Yatri. Does the film help me get over the trauma that I faced because of Satyamev Jayate 2? Does it in any way match the magic of the original Marathi film? Is this mass commercial cinema in its finest form? Getting right into it, here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it in theatres or not. The underwhelming aspects. The music. I don't think anyone will debate about the fact that the music of this film is quite underwhelming. Before I get to the quality of the music, what I will give credit to Mahesh Manjrekar is that at least when it comes to the integration of the music, he places the songs in accordance with moving the story forward, rather than it just coming across as fillers. This holds true for every song except the romantic track Hone Laga, which if it didn't exist in this film, the narrative would have been unaffected. Other than the Visarjan song that can pass off as somewhat enjoyable for what it represents and the energy of Varun Dhawan, the other songs including Bhai Ka Birthday and Chingari are best left forgotten. One of the main reasons for the engaging impact of the Marathi film is the lack of commercial tropes that existed in its screenplay. But this is where mass commercial Bollywood cinema almost becomes its own biggest enemy. Dalu Insta mein teri meri story mein sari duniya ko kar दूं hashtag, just a representative of how uninformed lyricists are on how social media works. The obsession with vanity and fan service. I said this in my trailer review of Antim as well, that it becomes rather odd when a movie is focusing on gangsters and the role of the police, and they have such an obsession with vanity of these characters, with washboard abs and perfectly aesthetic bodies, which are also digitally enhanced, and there's no denying that. The reason for the authenticity of the original film is because the characters looked and seemed like people you would come across in the real world, whereas the characters in this Hindi film still come across as aspiring or fictional versions of the same. A punch followed by "Main Desh ka bhai hoon" is only meant for fans and not the story. I am again not a fan of the sepia-like tone of every gangster film in Bollywood and the need to pack individuals from the heartland with bronzer on their face, but we've had this discussion too many times. Do the creators really care at this point after all my complaining? I don't think so. The first 15 minutes of the film, by the way, will alarm you a bit on how much the background score was being utilized to assist every punchline and scarily sometimes every sentence. I just wish sometimes creators have enough faith in the content of their dialogues rather than integrating a loud background music to instill within our mind कि भाई देखो क्या मस्त dialogue बोला है इसने. The good. The background score. We all expected this feature to bear in one of the biggest takeaways from the movie. The one thing that everyone raved about watching the trailer was the background score of the film. Ravi Basroor, who has composed the exhilarating piece for KGF as well, comes with another banger with Antim. This theme perfectly encapsulates the chaos that ensues in the streets of Pune. The background score assists many of the mass moments that include the entry of characters and the commencement of action sequences. It represents everything that you can expect of a score that should complement a gangster film. As we anticipated from the first look, it is an essential component of the film that elevates its quality. Great casting decisions. Mulshi Pattern is very fresh in my memory, so I was actually worried about the casting in this film, especially when it comes to the supporting characters. Would people be able to recreate the magic of the original, or even better, make it their own? I have to say that other than the casting of the young kid that in my opinion could have been better, I found the supporting cast put forth really commendable performances in their respective roles. Jishu Sen Gupta playing the role of Pitya, an unpredictable and unintentionally hilarious performance, adds such an enjoyable quotient to the film. I was pleasantly surprised by the performance of Mahima Makwana, who plays the role of Manda. For whosoever has seen the original film, one of the main reasons why people loved this dynamic was because of what an anomaly it was to see a female character in a male-dominated world stand up for herself and put a lead character in his place as he tries to stake his claim. Mahima really puts forth a genuinely grounded and real performance. Mahesh Manjrekar playing himself from the original film, and the brilliant decision to cast Sachin Kadekar in the father's role really made me believe that Manjrekar had an idea of how to adapt this in the Hindi language and make it work. The best decision out of the lot has to be for Praveen Tarde's character from the original film to be played by Upendra Limai. I feared whether anyone could bring the confidence and on-screen presence of Tarde from the original, and what a brilliant decision to get the National Award-winning actor to play the role of the same. He is one of the biggest highlights from the supporting cast of this movie. Actors in great form. I was worried for Aayush Sharma. The role immortalized by Om Budkar was a tough act to follow, but my god was I surprised on what Aayush Sharma has presented with his role as Rahul. The unhinged, bordering on psychotic quality of Rahul is channelized by the actor in great fashion. He slowly warms up to the role, initially being uncomfortable in the same, but it was honestly really surprising to see him on how comfortable he was in the second half. His eyes full of rage, his demonic laughter, his scream into the sky as if he's made his father proud, all made for a performance that actually makes you forget about his debut film. It is Salman Khan's performance that really took me aback. What I considered to be monotonous from the trailer, almost as if he was reciting lines, is actually the laid-back and comfortable stance that his character Rajveer Singh possesses. I, after a long time, felt that Salman was not sleepwalking through a film. It genuinely was exciting to see the several altercations and back and forths that he has with other gangsters, and especially Ayush's character. His sarcasm with the gangster's lawyer, his amusement of their cover-ups, and his physical ability when shit hits the fan really do make for an ingredient of a mass commercial film that simply works. And I believe it took a creator like Mahesh Manjrekar to get that out of him, as it is devoid of the preconceived tropes that Salman should have around him. This is the Salman we expect in films, rather than what we have seen in the past 3 or 4 appearances. Realistic action and tight screenplay. Quite contrary to Satyamev Jayate 2, and just like the original film Mulshi Pattern, the action sequences of this film are practical and realistic. Each time an altercation ensued and Ravi Basroor's background score commenced, it really does account for exciting sequences. Barring the introductory action scene, which is just fan service for Salman Khan, the 2 sequences, one in a gangster's house and the other in the market yard, really stand out. I genuinely believe the biggest star of Antim working as a commercial thriller film is because of Mahesh Manjrekar being on the director's chair, who knew the source material really well and adapts it and presents it to a market he has had decades of experience with. What I have to confess is that Mulshi Pattern is a superior film from a storytelling point of view, as it does not feel compelled to cater to commercial tropes. But this also doesn't take away from the fact that Antim, especially due to Mahesh Manjrekar's adaptation skills and the surprisingly good performances of the lead pair, packs a solid punch. Antim is literally the mass that Satyamev Jayate 2 attempted. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.